Good evening, everybody, and welcome to virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where tonight we kick off the 2024 iACT Winter Warm-Up Series. I'm Nick Mumley, and joining me here in just a moment will be Michael Stridesberg. And Michael, we have some of the best American-Canadian Tour, Thunder Road, and White Mountain stars out ready to put on a show here tonight as we dredge through this long winter. 50 laps coming up at New Hampshire, and some heat races here about to kick off the action.
Indeed. First qualifying heat now on the track. Lineup set by a random draw, and we'll be lining up straight up based on the heat results for the features. So the winner of Heat 1 is going to start on the pole in tonight's 50-lap main event brought to you by Fred Vance Trucking. Pace car is in, 45 Casey Beatty, and the 4 of Arthur Jordan are going to lead them down to the green.
Here they come. Green flag is out. The 2024 season for the American Canadian Tour Series is underway as they go 3 wide into the first corner back there. Beatty looking to get the jump, but look at that. 3 wide racing. It looks like Trent Goodrow, Burt Duffy, and Tyler Cahoon all back there battling for position early on in this heat race.
Yeah, things getting antsy. It's an 8-lap heat race. They almost didn't make it through the first corner before stacking things up. Looking right now, this is the battle for 4th place. The 31 Trent Goodrow taking it over on the inside. He's just behind the 75 of Burt Duffy in 3rd as they head to turn number 1.
There's PJ Evans looking to make a look down on the inside lane. This setup that we've got in here tonight, courtesy of one of the league sponsors, RKM Setups. This setup is going to be very interesting to see how these drivers take to it. The first few laps, driver's going to be really loose. You're going to be on ice, sliding around out there. Then it'll settle in, and then you got to be really careful to watch that right front tire, how much you're using that right front, because the faster it wears out, the harder you push it, the tougher it's going to be to get going late in these runs. And of course, once we get to the 50-lap feature, you're only going to get to change your tires one time throughout the course of the event today.
Indeed, and that might sound like plenty in a 50-lap race, but on a mile-plus long track like the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway, it can eat you up fast. As on the track right now, the 12 of PJ Evans is looking very strong. Evans out of Connecticut taking the 3rd position from Burt Duffy as they come down to complete lap 3. Trent Goodrow trying to follow him through.
And you see Goodrow there down on the inside. The preferred lane right now as these tires work in. Oh, there's contact. Goodrow up into the outside wall. He tank slaps it. Some wheel damage on the 31 machine. He'll fall back here after some early contact. Looks like he got into it there maybe with PJ Evans. A little bit of contact there up in the field. We race on. We're staying green.
Yeah, just a real close thing there where Trent Goodrow thought he was clear and just missed it by about 6 inches, and that is all it takes. Fortunately, everyone able to continue. As we're going to check back up at the front of the field now, 45 Casey Beatty, as we're just past the halfway point, has led it every step of the way, but that 4 of Arthur Jordan is not letting him get away with this.
Yeah, he's keeping that within a couple of car lengths. And Casey Beatty, we know him. He's obviously the defending White Mountain track champion over there for the late models. He's going full-time ACT Tour racing this year with Jeff Escher and a brand new team for 2024. But he's a good driver on the track in real life. But I'll tell you, this guy can iRace as well. He can certainly get it done.
Indeed, and next time by, we are coming to 2 laps to go in this one. 2 laps to go for the 45 of Casey Beatty, who recently announced that he is going to be running full-time on the real American Canadian Tour, not the virtual one, the real one this coming season. But behind him, it is becoming a 3-way battle as we look to see the 12 of PJ Evans is reeling in the 4 of Arthur Jordan.
Yeah, PJ Evans made a number of starts on the American Canadian Tour last year in that 12 Connecticut machine, and now he is reeling in Arthur Jordan as the laps wind down in this one. And looking to make a move. We'll see if he can continue to close his way in. Look at the gap shrinking as they enter turn 3. Will Evans be able to hold it off of 4? He's getting closer and closer each time by, Mike.
Indeed, he took a look to the outside there as they are taking the white flag. 1 lap to go in this heat race. Nose to tail at the front. Beatty about a car length lead right now as the 4 of Arthur Jordan having to play some defense here in the late going, because each spot in this race is several spots in the main event.
Here comes Evans
gonna
down to
make
the
one
inside.
last bid as they enter turn 3.
Evans makes the move, puts himself underneath the 4 of Jordan, looking to make the move off of turn 4. It's a dead heat to the stripe. Beatty's going to win it. Second, it's going to go to PJ Evans. What a run to get up to P2 for PJ Evans in that heat race.
Yes, Arthur Jordan taking third. Jake Grout, you see come across the line, the 49 fourth. Then Tyler Cahoon, the 38. Justin Prescott in the 04. Burt Duffy, Trent Goodrow, and Michael Bennett, the 19, rounding out your field in heat number 1. As we get heat 2 staged up here, we are going to make a quick pause here. It looks like our ticker was having a brief malfunction in this first heat race, and we're going to see if we can get that working here.
We have some growing pains on this, getting this going here, Mike. You know, nothing's ever perfect on the first time you run it.
No, I mean, that is part of just season openers, not just virtually, but in life as well. You know, you had a long winter off, and once in a while, a few gremlins crop up at the start of the season.
That they do. It looks like heat number 2 starting to get set up on the speedway here. Heat races are 8 laps here tonight. It's taken 30 drivers to the starting field for this one, and I believe we had like 34, 35 entering this race, looking to make the show. So there's going to be some guys going home. There's going to be some battles there at the end of these heat races to make it into the show. So it's going to be interesting to watch here as we get ready for heat race number 2.
Indeed. Once again, this is going to be 8 laps. And we're lining up straight up based on the heat race results. So the winner of this heat race is going to start P2 in the Fred Vance Trucking 50-lap main event later on tonight.
And that means Casey Beatty will be on the pole.
Yes, indeed. That is the easiest place to start, is on the pole for any event. Now, in this one, starting on the pole is going to be the 29 of Tyler Conley, and outside the 64 of Jason Pelkey, a regular Flying Tiger competitor at Thunder Road in Vermont. Ryan Nolan, the 78, is going to start in third. Then the 47 of Kerry Crenier in fourth. Ty Delphia, the 13. We have the 12 of Brian Rogers Jr., the 4 of Reese Bogue, and Nathan Wenzel, the 2023 New Hampshire Division I NASCAR champion from over at Claremont, will ride shotgun.
Yeah, some very good iRacers going to be coming from the back in this heat race, Mike. It's going to be interesting to watch here as we go green.
Indeed. Green flag is out, and Connolly in the 11 is going to take it as we have contact.
There they go. Oh! Ryan Nolan hard into the outside wall. That was doomed from the start. Looks like Jason Pelkey got into Connolly, and they all stacked up behind him, and they can't even make it through turn 1 here. See the damage to the 13, that white car there of Ty Delphia. So they'll come around under caution here.
Indeed. Yellow flag is out. No laps complete in this one. They'll just re-rack them and restart them minus the cars involved, and that's going to be the fun part for virtual race controllers, figuring out who is actually involved and who is just trying to get out of the way.
Aren't you glad we don't have that job tonight?
Indeed.
Yeah, you can see, I think I saw some damage a little bit on the right front. You can see there on that second car, the black number 12, Brian Rogers. He's got a little bit of right side damage.
Yeah, it looked like Jason Pelkey just tried, everyone tried to squeeze in single file, getting into the turns, and, kind of like in that first heat where you try to put 2 cars where there's only room for about 1.95 cars, and when you're going at 130, 140 virtual miles per hour, it doesn't take much.
It doesn't, and like I mentioned, this setup, the way it runs, the first couple of laps, the car kind of wants to get out from underneath you before those tires get some heat in them, because remember, you're going so fast here in this simulator on cold tires, you're naturally going to slide around just a little bit. I think these guys are going to learn pretty quickly here that you got to take it easy the first lap or two, as tempting as gaining a couple spots is. Keeping your car in one piece is just as important.
Indeed. But we are re-racked, and we are looking to get back going in this one. Again, the 11 of Tyler Conley is leading it. The light's still out, though, on the iRacing official pace car. So we're going to take at least one more lap here before we get going. And we should note, Nick, also that in addition to being a total number of laps, there is also a time limit on each of these heat races and the main event, isn't there?
So you're saying they should probably hurry it up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I think the virtual track crews need to go a little faster cleaning up this track to make sure we actually get everything in time.
And it's too bad we couldn't replicate the real Thunder Road or ACT track crew out there. They'd have it done by now.
Indeed, indeed. The time limit, I believe, is 15 minutes on these heat races, so, a lot would need to happen for us to take 15 minutes to get 8 laps in, but, hopefully everything goes clean from here. Now, field is re-racked. We do have lane choice for the leader after the initial start per real-life ACT rules. The 11 of Tyler Conley has taken the inside for this restart, and he'll have the 47 of Kerry Krenner alongside.
I'd be taking the inside here too after what I just saw on lap number 1. We'll see if they can do it a little bit cleaner this time as Conley gets a great jump. Look at Wenzel back there trying to make it 3 wide going to the stripe. They're back under green, and we got some racing behind them.
Indeed. Oh, already hot and heavy as they bump for the second spot.
3 wide again. Brian Rogers gets into it. Look at Reese Bogue all the way up to second. He was on the outside of the last row going into it. Nathan Wenzel was back in the last row too. Look at them go 3 wide into turn 3. Looking to make the pass on Brian Rogers. You got Wenzel inside, Bogue middle, and Rogers on the top side as they come off of 4.
They continue to run 3 wide as Nathan Wenzel now thinks better of it, tucks back in on the straightaway. A 7-car tango for the second spot. Up ahead of him, we're sure Tyler Conley's just going to look and try and leave it all behind as they sort it out back here.
Bogue looking to clear himself away. Look at that 78 car, though. Ryan Nolan was making some hay on the top side of the racetrack. Now he's ducked back down to the bottom. He's going to look underneath Brian Rogers here, looking for 4th position on the track. Wenzel gets a little bit loose. Nolan's going to take advantage and jump through to 3rd.
No. Brian Nolan now up to the 3rd spot. Jason Pelkey involved in that earlier tango. He is on the comeback trail, trying to follow him through underneath the 03 of Nathan Wenzel.
Contact hard into the wall.
Turn 2, Ty Delphia hard into the wall off the corner, limping it down the back straightaway.
We're going to stay green here, too. Delphia was able to keep it straight. These guys running on the time clock. We're going to stay green and let this one continue to battle itself out. I'm interested in seeing what Ryan Nolan can do, working his way up through. He's up to 3rd. Does he have a chance to get up here and catch the leaders? But Pelkey and Wenzel really trying to make a dent in that advantage as well here as Wenzel gets the advantage off of turn 2.
And next time by, there are going to be 3 laps to go in this one. The battle on track right now is for that 5th spot. Jason Pelkey on the inside and Brian Rogers on the outside. But time is starting to run down in this one. Up ahead, you see Nolan and Wenzel going to try and chase down that lead duo, but they are starting to run out of time.
Yeah, they are, and we'll see what they do here. And obviously, like we talked about, this is just a heat race. These guys are in good spots right now. You finish in the top 3 in that heat race, you're going to be in a good position to start towards the top 10 of the race. So, if I'm Wenzel or Nolan, I'm not pushing it too hard here. Don't need a wrecked race car going into the feature. Let's just take it slow here and, take what comes to us and get that thing in one piece onto the 50-lap feature.
Up ahead of him, the 11 of Tyler Conley has just taken the 2 laps to go signal. Able to lead this thing the whole way, but Reese Bogue, right front fender damage and all, is hanging with him here in the closing stages. They head into turn number 3, and you got to think that Reese Bogue, if he's running this well with a caved-in right front fender, he's going to be one to watch in the main event later on.
Bogue runs it high off of turn 4, but look at that. It's down to about 2 car lengths now off the corner. Connolly's trying to hold on now as they come to one more lap to go. White flag is out. Conley's got the lead, but look at this. Bogue right to the rear bumper off the corner. Can he make it stick off of 2?
They come into turn number 3 for the final time. Reese Bogue is going to get one shot at him. Looking to set up that run off of turn 4. But coming off, it looks like he's not going to quite get there. One last charge, but Tyler Conley is going to hang on to win it in the 11.
Hey, if this was a plus-minus event, this would be one heck of a starting spot for Reese Bogue. He came from the back all the way to the front right there and nearly made a play for the win off of turn 4 as we see him get into each other here a little bit to end heat number 2.
Ryan Nolan, the 78, taking third. 03, Nathan Wenzel in fourth. And the 64, Jason Pelkey, rounding out your top 5. 1 DNF in that one. The 13 of Ty Delphia, unable to continue after that hard encounter with the turn 2 wall.
It's going to be
as
tough.
Now heat 3 is getting ready to roll out onto the speedway.
Yeah, that'll make things difficult for Ty Delphia to make the show here tonight. As we move on to heat number 3. We'll take this opportunity here in between the heat races to tell you about our sponsors here on the iACT Tour in 2024. As you can see at the top of your screen, you've got the Ryan Kuhn Motorsports Setup Shop. They are providing setups for this series. Ryan is probably the best iRacer in the New England community, and he shares his knowledge with setups for iRacing events as the seasons go on. And his setups, man, I was driving this New Hampshire setup just the other night, and my goodness, I've never driven a car a virtual car so good around New Hampshire. It made me wonder what I was doing wrong all these years. But Ryan Kuhn Motorsports, their setup shop, outstanding stuff. We're super happy to have them on as a presenting sponsor for the series this year. We've also got Fred Vance Trucking. They're the title sponsor of this event. They're going to be on for another couple of events as this season goes on as well. Huge shout out to Fred Vance Trucking for hopping on tonight for the opening race of the season. And of course, the iACT series is sponsored by GossCars.com. So if you're looking for a new car, go see them online. Give them a call. GossCars.com. Get yourself in a new ride. Right before summertime, it's a good time to.
Indeed, the perfect time to get yourself some nice wheels before the summer driving season begins. In the meantime, Heat 3 is getting ready to take the green. The 36 of Joel Hodgson, the former Flying Tiger champion at Thunder Road, will lead him down. Then the 77 of Andrew Hill, the crew chief for the 3-time Thunder Road King of the Road, Jason Corliss, will lead them to green.
Here they come. Green flag is out. Look at that jump for Andrew Hill in the green and black 77 machine. He's going to get the jump into turn number 1. Will he be able to get down in front of Joel Hodgson? Looks like he will, and they're off and running here off of turn number 2.
Already getting sorted out early as we see the 79 of Paco Marshall get very close to the wall off of turn 2, able to avoid it. Hodgson running in second. Mike Young in the 66, part of a cattle call that includes the 6 of Kyler Davis, the 01 Stephen Martin.
There he goes. Oh, and right into the front end of another car there. Mike Young going crazy. Backs it into the front stretch wall. Will we have caution here? No, that car is crab walking pretty bad. Off he goes. Back up front. Yep. Here's the battle for the lead. Or are we going to go caution here? I think we are. Look, yeah, caution flag is out.
Yeah, we do apologize again. We are having some issues with the ticker. We do have a 5-minute warm-up following qualifying, and we're going to use that time to try and get that sorted out for the feature. But we are under caution after the Monster Energy machine got a little over-caffeinated coming off of turn 4.
Old Mike Young, he had it going, but like I said, first couple of laps here, those are the toughest laps to drive with these cars because they're going to want to come off of turn number 4. You're going to want to jump around a little bit. Got to give a lap or two. I figure, when I was running this setup a couple nights ago and running these cars here, it's just, take it easy for the first couple laps, then really let it loose on lap 3 and then on to get the most out of this setup and out of these cars. And clearly so far, we've seen some people learning the hard way about really getting on the loud pedal a little too hard here early on in these heat races.
Indeed, but this is going to be a quick caution. You can see the field doubled up, and the lights are already out on the iRacing pace car. Go back to the original start because no laps are complete. Joel Hodgson is going to be your leader. Andrew Hill is alongside him. Then we got Kyler Davis, the 6, the 79 of Paco Marshall, the 01 of Stephen Martin, the 90 of Zachary Fateau from the Serie ACT up in Quebec, currently shotgun on the field as we go back green.
A tough break for Fateau there on the last lap around. Mike Young kind of slid down the track, and Fateau had nowhere to go. But back under green here, once again, there's the jump for Andrew Hill, and looking to follow him through on the outside. That's that 6 machine, Kyler Davis, looking to make the run on the top side against Joel Hodgson.
Kyler Davis, a regular street stock competitor at the Thunder Road Speed Bowl, multi-time winner there, and was very impressive in the exhibition races leading up to the season opener here, as he is looking on the outside trying to take that number 2 spot from Joel Hodgson.
As they go back into turn number 1, they're still side by side for second place. Kyler Davis looking to get the jump. That outside, that third kind of lane there. I wouldn't really call it the outside, but the middle lane here at Loudon, that's the place where you want to be in these cars. It's where you can get the most arc on your corner, and you can stay in the gas the longest. And Kyler Davis just showed that to be as he gets around Joel Hodgson on the top side. He sets his sights for Andrew Hill.
Back behind him, the 01 Stephen Martin in 4th is trying to make some hay here. Martin, the former co-rookie of the year at the Thunder Road Speed Bowl in the late models, reeling in the 36 of Joel Hodgson. And what do you say? And what do you say we take a look inside the car with Stephen Martin as they start to battle up ahead of him?
Look at this view, folks. How often do you get to see this view, not on your TV for a NASCAR race in early February? I mean, this is quite a look on the inside of the 01 of Stephen Martin as he pulls it down the front stretch. 2 cars right in front of him on the top side there. That's Kyler Davis, Joel Hodgson down low, and look at Martin. He's going to make that move on the top side, looking to get around Joel Hodgson now as they come off the corner. Hodgson moves it high, and Martin says, I'm going underneath you. He slides down low as they go in towards turn number 3.
A great battle there. The 01 Martin, the 36 Hodgson not giving an inch as they are coming to get 3 laps to go now. 5 down, 3 to go in this third qualifying heat for the Fred Vance Trucking 50-lapper. So far, Hodgson has been able to parry everything that Martin has offered him, and now Martin's got his hand full as Paco Marshall looks to the inside in the 79.
Yeah, look at that. Don't discount our street stalkers from the Thunder Road Racing community. That's Paco Marshall trying to make the move down on the inside of Stephen Martin. He'll settle back in a car length or 2 behind now as Martin still continuing to lose ground a little bit to Joel Hodgson there. He was right to the back bumper, made that jump to the inside, but just couldn't get the angle on the entry of 3 when we were back there on the in-car camera to make that move stick as Joel continues here to drive away. He's found that middle lane, and he's off into the sunset here for now, trying to chase after Andrew Hill.
You can also see there just with Stephen Martin, he was able to go on the attack with Joel Hodgson, but when you have a car coming up behind you like Paco Marshall is now, and you're simultaneously having to play offense and defense, you just can't put that same charge in. As we are now going under the white flag, less than 1 laps to go. Let's check back in on our leader as he heads around for the final time.
Yeah, Andrew Hill, he is far and away out in front. Kyler Davis is there, but not really in position to make a move. I think this one's just going to be a slow dance to the checkered flag right here. Hill makes the move through turns 3 and 4. Kyler Davis within reach, but not close enough to make a jump at it. Andrew Hill is going to take the checkered flag in heat number 3. Kyler Davis will be 2nd. Joel Hodgson 3rd, and Stephen Martin, I believe, will pick up 4th place.
Indeed, just holding him off, the 79 of Paco Marshall, Zachary Fateau, your 6th place finisher, and Mike Young ends up rounding out the field. We do have one more qualifying heat that is getting staged out here. Again, these lineups were set by a random virtual draw. The random number generator in iRacing just spit out a qualifying order, and that is how they are going to start this one. Again, 8 laps in this qualifying heat, and we've got a very familiar name to the ACT racing world on the pole for this one, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Right there in that lime green SRT Dodge Charger is Brian Hoare, your 8-time ACT champion, and he's going to roll off from the pole in heat number 4.
And very fittingly, starting alongside is the 23 of Corey Paya. Many people know that Brian Hoare and Rick Paya was an unbeatable combination on the ACT Tour for many years, and now we have Hoare and Paya here together. And in the second row, we have the 60 of Thomas Smithers, the Tiger driver from over at White Mountain Motorsports Park, and another member of the Hoare family, Taylor Hoare, is going to start outside of row 2.
Taylor Hoare showing off the new sponsor colors there for the first time. That's the first time we get to see Taylor driving with the NEFQ and VSECU look. Her recent announcement saying she's going to go full-time late model racing at Thunder Road this year, and there she is with the new sponsors on the virtual car for the first time.
Rounding out the field as we get ready for the green, the 31 will be Logan Powers, Kyle Willis in the 43, the 9 of Bob Eldred, 69 Aiden Young, and the 39 of Tyler Jordan as we go under green flag for heat number 4.
This is a really stacked heat race, Mike. I mean, I'm going to be watching Logan Powers in that white and black 31 car the whole way. Logan can really wheel one of these virtual race cars. He's a great iRacer, and here he is already making a move up to third.
Indeed, he's up to third, but in front of him, we have got a challenge for the lead as Thomas Smithers, the teenager on the inside, is going to take the lead from Brian Hoare as we head off of turn number 4. Hoare thought about keeping in there, but falls back in line.
Tommy Smithers just closed the door on Brian Hoare, and here comes the 8-time champ back down to the inside. But like I said, you kind of want to be on the outside with these cars, especially early on in a run, as we see Brian try to hold on there, but Tom Smithers, he's got the advantage as Logan Powers now facing some heat from Bob Eldred there for third place.
Indeed, they are going 2 by 2. For the first two, really the first 3 rows, as you can see the 23 Corey Paya and Tyler Jordan side by side behind him. Everyone keeping it clean so far, but some great action as we are 2 laps into this heat race. Up in front, Brian Hoare putting his nose back up for the lead.
Man, you couldn't fit a piece of paper between those 2 cars there going through turns 1 and 2. They are on a dead heat down the backstretch. Brian's trying to make something happen here on the inside line. We've seen that the top's kind of been the place to be, but you see Smithers washes up the track. That might be what Brian Hoare needs to take the advantage here. He's just got him at the line. Won't be able to clear him. He's going to have to take the low line into 1, but might be able to slide his way up. Oh, and here comes Smithers to the inside. They're going to swap places.
And as this is happening, Bob Eldred, the 13, is closing in on him. He is steadily marched his way through the field, and it is now a 3-car battle at the front as they are coming to the halfway cross flags here in heat number 4.
This might be our best heat race of the evening here. It's afternoon in virtual Loudon, but it's evening here anywhere that you're watching this in real life. But we've got a great battle for the lead. Like you said, Mike, don't count out Bob Eldred there in the 13, and Logan Powers in the 31 as well, kind of lagging back a little bit right now, but he could become a factor in this before the finish as well, as Brian Hoare regained the lead. He started on the pole. He's faced some challenges. He lost the lead for a little bit, but he's gained it back as Smithers continues that charge for the top spot, moving to the inside now, trying to get even with him at the stripe. Couldn't quite get the run off of 4, but now they dive back into turn number 1. Top 3 under a blanket here at Loudon.
Yes, the 60 of Thomas Smithers has ducked to the inside a couple of times in that short way around in the corners, able to get him alongside, but not able to run the line he wants up off the corner with Brian Hoare there, and so far just not quite able to make it stick down there as we are coming to 2 laps to go in heat number 4. 31 Logan Powers looking to make it a 4-car battle here at the front.
Yeah, Logan's gotten that car to settle in nice and good here with these just a couple of laps remaining, as he is right just about up to the back bumper of the 13 of Eldred. What are they going to do here? That's going to be the question. You know, how do these guys react? You've clearly got these 2 cars out in front that are really both trying to get this heat race victory. How does Bob Eldred and Logan Powers attack that? Do they wait for an opportunity? Do they take matters into their own hands as we come to the white flag?
Yes, if they're going to make a move, they're going to have to make it really soon. Less than a mile to go in this one. Smithers still all over the back bumper of Brian Hoare as he takes another look to the inside of turn number 2. Bob Eldred, though, trying to fill the hole as he gets all squirrely as heading into turn number 3.
It's going to get interesting into the third and fourth turns. Eldred all the way down beneath the yellow line, works his way back up, had to get out of the gas. Smithers couldn't get his nose underneath the 37 of Brian Hoare. They'll come across the line, 1, 2, 3, 4. Brian Hoare gets the win. Smithers second, Bob Eldred third, Logan Powers fourth. What a heat race that was.
Tyler Jordan, the 39, rounds out the top 5. Then the Aiden Young, Kyle Willis, Corey Paya, and Brian Hoare round out your field for heat number 4. Qualifying is now complete, and we are going to have a short final practice warm-up period, we do believe, before we get going for the feature in this one. Yep. And in the meantime, we are going to try and resolve these ticker issues. We do apologize for those. We are going to work on the technical side here during this warm-up. As you can see on the screen, cars are starting to come out for this final practice session. But in the meantime, what else do we have coming up this season, Nick? Because this is just one race of an 8-race season, if I remember correctly, for the GossCars.com iACT winter warm-up.
Yeah, what a season we have on tap here. 8 races throughout the course of the year. We're here at Loudon this week for 50 laps. Next up, it's going to be February 19th, another track that many of you will be familiar with, Oxford Plains Speedway, and that one's going to have a few more laps to it. 125 on the docket for virtual Oxford Plains next Monday evening. Then the Monday after that, February 26th, we'll be headed to Hickory, down south of North Carolina. A lot of our ACT friends familiar with that speedway. ACT holding events there, 2 events in the last few years. We'll be going down to Hickory. And then March 4th, we'll be doing 100 laps at the home of the Snowball Derby, Five Flags Speedway. Folks, if you've never gotten to watch an iRace at Five Flags Speedway, it's just as good as the real racing itself. That's one of my favorite tracks in iRacing. Always puts on a tremendous show. That's a place where drivers can really let it all hang out and go for broke, and that's what puts on the best show. Five Flags going to be a whale of an event on March 4th. Then on March 11th, we'll shift to South Boston Speedway. 150 laps around one of the toughest, closest bull rings in the iRacing simulator. And that's going to be a fun race to watch as well. Lots of contact all the way through. You can expect at that one. That's kind of like the short track racing in Bristol there at South Boston. Then the series shifts on March 18th back up north, Oxford Plains for another 125 lapper on March 18th. So we'll see on that race who learned some stuff in the first race that they can apply to the second one. And then we go high bank racing on March 25th. Going to Thompson Speedway for 75 laps. It's a tough track to get around in real life and in the simulator. And that's going to be it's almost like a short track Darlington over there at Thompson. Puts on a great show in iRacing. It's a tough race for every competitor. There's going to be no time to take a breath on those 75 laps on March 25th. And then the championship, 150 laps around North Wilkesboro on April 1st, going back to one of the most famous short tracks in America to round it off the series. April 1st, North Wilkesboro, 150 laps, and that's our 8-race schedule this year. Hope you'll join us each Monday night from here until April. And then guess what, folks? After we wrap up the championship, there's just going to be a handful of days until we are racing for real up at Loudon for the Northeast Classic coming up on April 13th. I can tell you what, counting down the days to that one as we speak. Cannot wait to get out there for the real thing and get to see these guys going around Loudon. One of the most fun tracks to get to go watch a race at on the ACT schedule. So we'll see what goes on here. And hey, look at that. Looks like we might have a ticker here. Did you get something fixed over there, Mike?
Well, for now is the key word there, but obviously, just sorting the technical part of it out, but it will be very nice to actually see where everyone's running in the feature, wouldn't it?
It would. I'm sure the viewers would very much like that. Now, Michael, as we go over the as we go over the schedule here. I mean, we go to tracks like Oxford and Hickory, Five Flags, South Boston, Thompson, North Wilkesboro. What tracks are you most excited for on this schedule as we get rolling on this iACT series here in 24?
I mean, honestly, as much as, I love Oxford, I love Thompson, I love Hickory, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the iACT at the tracks that ACT doesn't race at in real life. And, obviously it's hard to get to a track like South Boston. It's hard for ACT to get to a track like Five Flags, but that's part of the beauty of iRacing, is that you get to drop them into at least something close to the real thing and see what it might be like if everything came together in the real world to make something like that happen. And I gotta tell you, we did one of our exhibition races at South Boston, and that track put on a whale of a virtual show. I am really excited for the actual Sobo shootout and the iACT series later this season.
Yeah, for sure. And how about crowning a champion at North Wilkesboro? That's one of those things that, as an ACT fan, you sit there and you dream about something like that. Well, you don't get it in the real world, but we'll have it for you in the virtual world. Crowning our champion at North Wilkesboro, I don't think there's going to be anything more exciting than that. So, looks like we are all gridded up here and just about ready to go. Michael, you have the starting lineup in front of you. Let's get it going.
Well, on the pole, as virtue of his win in heat number 1, is going to be the 45 of Casey Beatty, the reigning King of the Mountain at the White Mountain Motorsports Park. Outside will be your Heat 2 winner, the 11 of Tyler Conley. Then in row 2, we have our other Heat winners, the 77 of Andrew Hill, the 37 of Brian Hoare. PJ Evans in the 12 Connecticut will go inside as we side, and we're going to actually pause right there because things are continuing to shift around.
It looks like
in our
we're
ticker.
changing some things around right here.
Yep.
So
Well, I'm not changing anything around. This is just the beauty of iRacing happening right here, because it looks like some drivers may not have made the call for the main event.
Oh, interesting.
That is the best thing I can think of.
Well, I guess we will find out here soon enough. Yeah, look at those guys all shifting around here. We'll see. Let's bring it up and let's toss the camera here on that on the pole sitter, and we'll go from there.
Yep. Hang on just a second there, Nikolai, and we will get everything situated again. In the meantime, we are going to have a couple of pace laps here before the 50-lap main event, as unfortunately our oh look, we have a ticker. The problem is it's taking up the whole screen.
Oh, we'll get these bugs figured out. Oh my goodness, we are racing.
The green flag is already out again. Hang on, and the caution is already out as well.
We have utter chaos to begin the race.
We have chaos on the track. We have chaos in the production room. We have chaos everywhere.
Well, Joel Hodgson has certainly been involved in this accident right here. It looked like there's a massive stack up on the outside lane there to begin this thing.
Indeed. And
so we're going to see some of these guys are going to have some damage here that's going to be tough to fix. You see the tire is flat on the Joel Hodgson machine, so he's going to have to come in. That's not good news for car 36, because you're only going to get one additional set of tires for this race. So you can put new tires on one time over the course of the 50 laps. I don't think you want to be doing that here on lap number 1.
Indeed. You'd much rather get it about halfway through the event and be able to get, a split run as evenly as possible. But if you got to put on tires the very first lap of the race, then unfortunately, you get to gain some track position later, but then you got a bunch of people with fresh tires coming up right behind you.
Yeah, I don't think you can get a set of tires to last 50 laps around here. You got to be real nice to them. I was able to get them to go about 35, 40 before I had just about nothing left on mine when I was testing. So we're going to see how it goes here.
Yep. Indeed.
Let's go back up front, see who might be out in front of this thing.
Well, we are working on that right now, because right now we do have a lot of cars catching up to the tail of the field, and right now we are very slowly working our way back to the front of this thing. Okay. We're just going to go the old-fashioned way and right through, and it looks like we do in fact have the 45 of Casey Beatty out front for this one. So we're not entirely sure what happened, but iRacing does some funny things, and it is again the first race of the season. So right now we do know that it is in fact 0 laps complete, and the 45 Casey Beatty is set to lead him down for when we get this thing back underway.
Now, caution flag laps do not count for this race, so we will not be completing laps under caution, just as it is in the real American Canadian Tour. We're not going to waste any of the advertised laps running around at half speed, but as we work our way back up front, you see Beatty out in front. You got Brian Hoare to his outside running second. Andrew Hill is third. Reese Bogue had that really impressive run in the heat race. He is fourth. Looks like PJ Evans is in fifth, and Tommy Smithers is back there in sixth.
And you notice one name that isn't up there is Tyler Conley, one of our heat race winners. So clearly he ran into some issues as part of that early stack up. As the pace car is in, and we are set to go back racing.
Well, here we go. About to go back green flag racing. It's Beatty and Hoare with Andrew Hill trying to get in there as well. Beatty's going to go up top, block that top lane as they work their way down into turn number 1. Hopefully a little bit cleaner this time. There's some side-by-side action. Looks like Andrew Hill's going to make a move there off of turn number 2 to try to get even with Brian Hoare. And he's got PJ Evans straight up bump drafting him down the backstretch.
Yes, and there are some strong cars at the front here, because remember, this feature lineup was set straight up based on qualifying, so a lot of top 2, top 3 finishers here as the 4 and the 77 bang doors down the front straightaway heading into turn 1.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there between the two cars in the green and black. They're going to remain side by side for third place as Brian Hoare is able to get out there with second. Casey Beatty has the lead. PJ Evans now looking onto the inside of Tommy Smithers for position as well, as Hill and Bogue continue to duel it out for P3.
Indeed, they are double file all the way back here. The 12C of TT of PJ Evans in 5th, Thomas Smithers in 6th, and as you look back here, the 6 of Kyler Davis is looking for some racing room. He was strong in his heat race, just waiting for things to sort out in front of him here as we are closing in on 4 laps complete in this one.
He's going to drop it all the way down to the inside, try to slide up maybe a little bit. There's going to be so many guys that are taking the positioning up on that top groove. If you can make some hay on the inside lane, you might have a good chance at winning this thing, because there's going to be so many guys that are fighting for that middle lane, knowing that the speed is there. We'll see how things go, but you can see there's some battles up front as we're under caution here. Let's see what's going on.
Indeed, we're going to take a look back here in the field and see if we can find where our problem was. And
that's a problem.
Is your answer. The 29 of Tyler Jordan looping it in turn 2 gets it back underway, but it puts us back under the caution as we had 4 laps complete in this one.
Well, we got some green flag racing done.
Indeed, and a lot of very competitive racing there, a lot of side-by-side battles, but now everyone gets to catch their breath and get ready to go at it again.
And we'll get things re-racked here. This will probably be a pretty quick yellow flag, I would assume, with just the single car spin. Back up at the front, got some heavy hitters up there. Casey Beatty, he was dominant in his heat race. Brian Hoare was able to win his heat race. Reese Bogue up there in 3rd. Andrew Hill in 4th. We see some cars going down pit road now. Tommy Smithers making a dive down there. Interesting to see what he might do here with just a few laps complete.
Indeed, and you can see the lineup shuffling at the top as we figure out who is taking it down pit road and who isn't. But some drivers just making the decision now. Do we pit? Do we Do we stay out? Strategy already working just 4 laps into this one, and you did see one car go flying by on the outside. We do have a free pass, just like the real ACT. Didn't quite catch who that car was coming
I
by on
believe
the
that was
outside,
Connolly
but
there on the top side making his way through.
indeed, and he was fast earlier, so maybe getting a lap back and give him some time, see if what he can do coming back through the field.
And it's gonna make things just that much tougher on him, though. You know, these guys that are out front, they kind of have the advantage of being able to, you know, take some time off, save those tires when they need to, you know, have a little bit more later on in the run. You know, for a guy that like Connolly, who was started up front but got pushed back, he's going to have to use up his stuff to get up through the field and be back in a position to win. So it's going to be tough sledding for him after a tough break there on the opening lap of this thing. But yeah, should be interesting to see how this plays out. Looks like they're re-racked. Lights are off on that virtual iRacing pace car, and we're about ready to go green flag racing once more.
Indeed, 45 Casey Beatty, 37 Brian Hoare on the front row. We can tell you that unofficially Tommy Smithers will restart in 29th after his pit stop, giving up a top 10 position. So keep an eye out for that 60 as he tries to work his way back through the field. In the meantime, lights are out. You see the 45 Beatty, the 4 of Reese Bogue, scrubbing those tires, trying to get them ready for this restart as we look for the pace car to duck in as they come off of turn 4.
And here they come. Beatty on the inside, Brian Hoare on the top side. Reese Bogue is there. Oh, they're tight right up bumper to bumper. Everybody all the way through, trying to get the most out of this restart as they run into the first corner.
Not sure what happened there as camera decided to erupt on me, but
there we
we
go.
are back now as 45 at Casey Beatty leads him down the back straightaway.
And look, Reese Bogue's made a move there to the inside of Brian Hoare, trying to jump down low there. Bogue now, he might be able to clear Brian Hoare off the corner. Oh, that was tight. Decided to think better of it. And now we're back under caution here.
Indeed. Caution flag is out on the speedway. We will try and trace down what the issue is, but may not have even gotten one complete lap in before that caution comes out and puts the field back under the yellow.
Yeah, it was close. It looked like the leaders were getting to the start-finish line here right as the caution flag came out.
So we will just have to await a word from virtual timing and scoring. In the meantime, you know, a little trouble getting this race back underway, but we are seeing some great racing when we're able to dodge the raindrops, for lack of a better term. I mean, I don't think we have to worry about actual rain in iRacing, but you never know.
No, thankfully there's no... They don't have rain in iRacing, at least for the oval tracks yet. I think you can set it so it's on when you do oval or road course racing, but we aren't playing around with that just yet.
Yep.
Remember, if you're watching us here on YouTube tonight, be sure to say hello. Tell us who you're cheering for. We love seeing you guys' comments down in the comment section here on YouTube, so keep that up. Thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight for our first race of the 2024 season. We're having a blast so far, and the racing's been really good. We're going to get some green flag runs here as this race goes on, I'm pretty sure. And I think we're going to have a fun battle for the win here tonight. Beatty looks strong. Man, that 4-car Reese Bogue, we're watching him right now. He has been impressive every time that he's been turning laps tonight. Brian Hoare has been too. I mean, it's cool to see the 8-time champ up there duking it out with guys like Casey Beatty for the lead in this thing. You know, this is a fun time, and this is a fun little series we've put together. So hope everybody's enjoying it, and we got a long season, so hope you will continue to tune in as the season goes on. Remember, like I said, we're going to be going right up until April here. We'll take you just about to the start of the real life racing here as things get going and we wrap up this long, cold winter.
Indeed, and We literally go up until just about a week before the start of the actual ACT Tour season, and it is going to be at the real life New Hampshire Motor Speedway with the fourth annual Northeast Classic coming up here in mid-April, isn't it, Nick?
It is. That's one that you got to circle on your calendars if you've never been out and seen the ACT cars at Loudon. You got to go out, make the trip down there, see what happens. It's a fun time.
In the meantime, pace car is in, and we are going to get this one back underway. 45 Beatty and the 37 of Brian Hoare take the green flag.
Here they go down into turn one. Reese Bogue right on the bumper. Casey Beatty. Beatty's going to get a little bit of a jump there into the corner. Look at him slide that car up to the top side. Break away from the leaders. Brian Hoare there in second, trying to close into that back bumper. Reese Bogue is third. PJ Evans is fourth. And here comes Bob Eldred looking for fifth position on the inside.
Yes, Bob Eldred had a very strong run in his qualifying heat, just steadily working his way up through the field. Currently running in the fifth position in this one and just waiting to see how the battle sorts out ahead of him between the 12 of Evans and the 4 of Bogues. Right now, it is Evans with the edge as they hit the back straightaway.
Back down to the inside. Here comes Bob Eldred to the bottom. Can he get it to stick down there? That's been the tough thing for these guys, getting those passes done on the inside lane. The outside is where you want to be, but look at Eldred. He's able to make it stick, but gets door slammed a little bit by the 4 of Bogue. He'll slide back in there on the bottom side. Nobody giving each other an inch here early on as they continue to run off of turn number 4. Racing is tight and fun to watch here early on in this one.
Well, some call it door slamming, others call it side drafting, and for Bob Eldred, it was the latter as he is able to get past the 4 of Bogues into the spot and up ahead of him, battle for second. The 12 of Evans takes it from Brian Hoare as they head down the front straightaway.
And they had a moment there coming off of turn number 4. Brian Hoare almost got into the side of Evans. He had to slide it back up the track. That allowed PJ to make the move necessary to get the position, and now Evans is going to set his sights for the leader of the race, Casey Beatty. As they go back into 3, Brian Hoare's going to duck it back down to the inside. It's going to be tight into the center of the corner.
They're coming by to complete 10 laps in this one. 10 down, 40 laps to go in the Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50 here. They are still close quarters action from second on back. We'll take you through the field here quickly as you've got the 12 of Evans in second, Brian Hoare holding on to third as we see the 13 of Eldred
we have
looking
caution
to the inside,
on the racetrack here.
Is back out on the speedway.
Let's see. Yellow flag waving once again. This might be a good time to go through the field while we're pacing here under caution.
Indeed. As we know, the 45 Casey Beatty has led this every step of the way so far. The 12 of PJ Evans just holding steady in that second spot, was looking like he might put a charge on him before that caution came out. 37 of Brian Hoare rides in third, then the 13 of Eldred runs in fourth. Reese Bogue goes into the fifth spot as we have camera problems again, as we will get, don't worry, we'll get that sorted right out. In the meantime, we did have Bogues in second, and you could see not far behind, we had the 49 of Jake Grout, who is running very well right now. Jake Grout, the son of Chris Grout, has having a very strong go of it, and so far he's well into the top 10.
I think we actually
again for these.
I think Chris is actually driving tonight on Jake's account.
Okay, that could be
reading from the comments section. I think that's what we got going on here.
Well, in that case, how's it going, Chris? Great to have you.
Well, we see him moving up there in that yellow and green number 49.
Yep.
The camera's just not being. The camera work is not being nice to us so far.
We can see the 36 of Joel Hodgson going around to get the free pass. Yes, the hotkey. This is a situation where the hotkeys to operate the cameras were working very well in practice, and then the race started.
Well, that's usually how these things go. Everything works great in practice until we, get the real show running, and then it's just it gets a mind of its own, does its own thing.
But as Freddie Mercury once sang, the show must go on. As we continue back through the field, there is the 77 Andrew Hill in 7th and the 49 Chris Groud in 8th. 69 of Aiden Young is running in 9th spot here. And rounding out the top 10 is the 6 of Kyler Davis. Arthur Jordan in the 4 you can see right behind him in 11th. And Stephen Martin unofficially your 12th place car as we look to get ready for a restart.
Should be 1 lap to go this time, I believe. No, we'll see.
As we
Joel Hodgson going around again.
I think Joel Hodgson is just taking advantage of the caution to get some extra hot laps in.
Well, we saw him. He got to start up. Joel got to start up front tonight, and then he had some issues there on the start, and that threw things all sorts of out of whack. But
yeah, you can see though the light's still out on the pace car. I
would assume we'll go racing
in single file,
next
so
time
we continue to await. You can see on our ticker up top, the 31 Logan Powers just on pit road as well. So was strong in his heat race, but running into some trouble early here in this main event.
It's going to be interesting to see what PJ Evans can do up on this top side. We've seen Brian Hoare restarting up there. Hasn't really been able to get the jump on Beatty. Now you got Brian. He's going to be restarting behind Beatty in 3rd. Bob Eldred there in 4th as well. But PJ Evans, he's been impressing me so far around this virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I want to see what he's got for Beatty. And as they double him up down the back straightaway here, we get to see it once again. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Indeed. And we can also update you in that caution. We haven't seen much of Ryan Nolan so far on this yet. We can confirm he was on the pit lane during that caution. So we'll see if he can do anything out of the back of the field as we get ready to go back racing. Again, it's Casey Beatty, the 12 of Evans, 37 Brian Hoare, and the man on the move has been the 13 of Bob Eldred as we get ready to go back green.
Here they come off of 4. Pace car is going to make that move down to the long pit road here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Field's going to get tightened up. And here they go to the start. Look at that jump. PJ Evans, like I thought, he might get a good one here. And there he goes. PJ Evans on the top side. What does Beatty do? Will he be able to stick with it here? Caution flag
caution
is out.
Back out.
Let's see. Might be something going on here at the back of the field.
Yep, we're going to...
Tight jump there.
Yeah. And if I had to guess, it is the car that has magically appeared on pit road, the 60 of Thomas Smithers.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Tommy Smithers. He was having a good, strong run, was great in his heat race, almost won his heat race, and just for whatever reason decided to make the jump down to pit road there early on in the race. And when you get back in traffic, things get a lot more difficult to make your way back up front. So... see what happens here.
It's definitely a calculated risk when you are one of the few cars to pit early on in an event. If things go well, it can work out very much in your favor, but the danger is you get back into that traffic, and when you get in the bunch of a middle of cars, I mean, sometimes you're just a victim of circumstance.
Yep, that's the way it goes, unfortunately. So as we continue to work under another caution flag here, hopefully we'll get some green flag racing for all you guys watching in the stream here tonight. Because when we've been racing green flag, it's been fun to watch.
Indeed, and right now the field seems to be having a little trouble locating the pace car. Ah, look, they found it off of turn 2. The pace car is going so fast, and we're still awaiting the word from scoring on whether there's 11 or 12 laps complete in this one to sort it out, but we are still very early in this event, not even quite a quarter of the way through. I mean, I was jokingly talking about time limits during the heat races, Nick, but hopefully we don't run into that here in the main event.
Yeah, hopefully not. But, one of these things, as these iRaces go on, one thing that I've learned throughout my time, partaking in these is as the field kind of weeds itself out, you get some guys that are maybe having a more difficult time than others. They'll crash out of the race. They won't be able to come back. You get the guys that are really have a good grip and grasp of what they're doing out there. Um, we'll see what happens here, but I think as this field kind of starts to whittle itself down, I think we'll see some longer green flag runs towards the end of this race. But hopefully that's sooner rather than later, because I can tell you what, nobody likes running around under caution.
No, no. Unfortunately, tonight we have been proving the old axiom of cautions breed cautions.
Unfortunately.
Indeed. The field continues to circulate around the virtual magic mile here on iRacing. As we will go back through the field a bit here again. You see Casey Beatty looks like currently sits in the second spot as the 12 of PJ Evans got the jump on that one. You see the 13 of Bob Eldred running in third, and really this is, if looking at it right now, Nick, it appears to be more of a score forward system that virtual iACT and iRacing has implemented for this one, because even with the caution on the right on the restart, the 12 of Evans is unofficially being scored as the leader.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if maybe they came around, got to the stripe first. Who knows? But and it's also possible maybe Beatty's taking the outside here as well. It's something that we can't rule out either. But they're both going to start on the front row here, so we do know that. And we'll see what happens here. We saw PJ Evans get the jump on the restart last time around. See, can Casey Beatty equal him here? I think he might have caught Beatty napping a little bit. We'll see what happens as they come to green.
Pace car is in, 12 laps complete, 38 to go in the Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50. Evans and Beatty take the green flag, a very even run as they head here into turn number one. Evans with the nose, but Beatty gets a great run on the outside as they head off at turn number two.
And Beatty's got that preferred groove there on the top side, but Evans is making it work there on the low side. Bob Evans going to jump up there. What lane's he going to take into turn three? Brian Hoare back there, Reese Bogue as well. And Evans is trying. He's close. He won't clear him this time, but PJ Evans has the advantage on the inside of the racetrack.
Yes, by just a couple hundredths of a second that time across the line. The 12 of PJ Evans is your leader, but Casey Beatty not giving that up. Just keeping a nose on him on the outside is just enough to disrupt that line of Evans a little bit, and Beatty able to inch back up on him as they head to turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Beatty trying to hold on there. Last thing he wants is to be cleared for the lead, and that's exactly what happens there. So now, well, they're running 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the race lead. Brian Hoare is in there as well. Just 4 cars under a blanket for the top spot. PJ Evans takes it. That's our first, I would call, official lead change of this one, as Beatty gives up the lead for now. Going back here, you see Chris Grout on the top side of Andrew Hill. They're fighting for a spot here. It's 5th position on the racetrack. That's your first side-by-side battle. Look at Grout pedaling the top side there. Can he get the run off of 4? Not that time. Aiden Hill, the mini stock driver from White Mountain, moves down low. And they're going to race each other now into turn number 1 with that battle going on for 5th.
Yes, field has sorted it out somewhat at the front, but still some hard racing back here. Aiden Young on the inside, and Arthur Jordan, the 4, thinking about 3 wide. Whoa, as
here they go.
Turn 3 does more than think about it. Actually puts it 3 wide. They get real close. They're playing tic-tac-toe off of turn number 4.
Now look at that. Great racing there as they go 3 wide into the corner, and they all come out to tell the story down the front stretch. But getting the advantage off of that was Chris Grout in the 49, as now we have a caution flag here as the 69 and 4 continue to run side by side. The yellow flag back out here once again in the Fred Vance Trucking 50 here at Loudon.
Yeah. Well, we field back under caution. We do see a crinkled nose on the 38 of Tyler Cahoon as we're going back through the field. You know, sure has been a lot of action through the back of the field as well, as you can see some definite battle scars in this one. The 79 Paco Marshall with some battle scars. You know, Well, a lot of crinkled fenders. Fortunately, they don't cost anywhere near as much to fix here at the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway as they do at the real one, don't they?
Yeah, I think most of these drivers in the field tonight would rather get some, if they're going to do some wrecking at Loudon, they'd rather do it tonight when they can reset the car and live to see another day rather than tearing up some equipment. And man, those Loudon wrecks, I don't think anybody's come out of a wreck at Loudon and said, man, that was fun. I think anybody's ever
You
done
see
that.
the 45 of Casey Beatty pulled the pump fake there. Looked like he might cut down pit road, but is opting to stay out here under this caution flag.
Back under
Still
yellow
looking
here.
through the field to see if anyone else may opt to take a trip down the pit road, but so far all of our leaders opting to stay out is unofficially 17 laps complete in the Northeast Classic 50.
Yeah, and a couple of these guys that have cracked their way into the top 10. You look at Chris Grout, you look at and you look at these guys back here, Aiden Young as well in the 69. We didn't really talk about them much during the heat races, but they have worked their way up. They've survived the cautions. You can see those cars still nice and clean, no damage on them. You know, sometimes these iRacing events are just about surviving your way through, less than, you know, driving your way up to the front. And you see Grout and Young here that have worked their way up through the field even without those strong heat race runs. So we'll see what they can do as this race goes on.
It brings to mind an old term for the March Madness basketball tournament that's coming up before too long. Survive in advance is sometimes the best route to take. We can update you. There are a few pit cars during this most recent caution. Juan Paco Marshall, the 79, Ryan Nolan, the 78, again on pit road, as was Tyler Connolly, all making pit stops under this caution.
And it looks like we are double file once again, looking to go green flag racing once more with Evans and Beatty. And I'll tell you, folks, that has been one to watch here early on in this race. Has been the restart battles between the 12 Connecticut there on the inside and the 45 of Beatty on the top side. Those two have been putting on quite a battle, and we talked about Bob Eldred there in third, Brian Hoare fourth, and Reese Bogue has had a good day in fifth as well as we get ready to go back racing here at Loudon.
The iRacing official virtual pace car heads for the safety of pit road, and the field comes toward the green flag. The 12 CT of PJ Evans and the 45 of Casey Beatty. Beatty has a slight nose in front as they head to turn one, but they bail it in very hard there. Let's see how they come off of turn number two.
Yeah, Beatty does not want to give that lead up once again, as Evans was able to take it there on that last run there under green flag as they go door handle to door handle on to turn number three. Still fighting for it. Maybe give the advantage to Evans. He gets a good run off the corner. Not enough to clear him. Beatty's going to keep the nose on the right rear quarter panel of the 12 Connecticut. Bob Eldred, though, he's up to third.
And behind this battle, the 4 of Reese Bogue has taken over fourth from the 37 of Brian Hoare. The caution, though, back out. As the caution comes out, the 77 of Andrew Hill smacks the wall coming out of turn two. Caution was already out, but be interesting to see how that affects the 77 machine.
So caution flag back out here.
And one car looking very worse for wear after that caution comes out is the 04 of Justin Prescott. Damage on both sides of the front end of that 04 machine.
Yep, some tough breaks there for Justin Prescott. He's going to wheel the AH Fence Company GossCars.com Chevrolet down pit road. Make a stop here for some much needed damage repair. Oh, he's got a fast repair still in the wallet. That's the beauty of iRacing, Mike, is you can just click the button and your car is instantly brand new.
Yeah, so it's a certain amount of times per race, yes, you can click it, but, you know, you got, well, part of it, that's a little bit of strategy itself, too, in iRacing. If you only have, you know, one fast repair or two fast repairs, do you elect to use one now? As we see the 4 of Reese Bogue, do another pump fake to the pits, is do you use a fast repair now? Do you gamble and hope that because you think you might need in the future, that's a little bit of a strategy element in and of itself.
Yeah, for sure.
19 laps complete in this one. The Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50. Once again, this is the GossCars.com iACT Winter Warm-Up presented by RKM Setup Shop. A lot goes into putting on an event like this for sure. It's a great to have partners like GossCars.com, which includes Goss Chevrolet of Champlain, New York, and Goss Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Fiat. I think I might be missing one or two, but out of South Burlington. They put in a lot of effort these last 2 winters to help make this series happen as we wind down the months before the real racing season gets underway.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as we get ready to go back green again, I think we might see the lights come off. Yes. Yes, there go the lights on the pace car. We'll go back to double file. We'll see how much longer we go double file restarts here before we kind of put them in timeout. Might go single file here before too long, the way these guys have been racing tonight. But we're making our way through the race, approaching halfway, and up at the front of the field, the racing's been clean, and it's been fun to watch when we've been under green, as Beatty and Evans will restart side by side again.
Indeed, the 13 of Bob Eldred is really just almost looking like he's just waiting for a lane to open up, and the 4 of Reese Bogue, having an outstanding run, now gets to restart along the outside, and you can see the 77 of Andrew Hill does have a little right front damage from bopping the wall when that caution came out. Keep half an eye on him as we get ready for the restart.
Here we go again. We'll see if we can get a good green flag run going this time. Evans on the inside, Beatty up top. As we roll around, lap number 20 underway. Evans is going to get the jump there into the corner, and look at that. He clears Casey Beatty. What a move there by PJ Evans.
A fantastic restart that time. The 12 CT of Evans, might have learned a few things from these previous restarts. Behind him, battle rages for the 3rd spot. The 4 of Reese Bogue is trying to get it done on the outside. Let's see what kind of run he gets down here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, Bogue making the move on the top of Bob Eldred. Casey Beatty has kind of settled into second for now. We'll see, if these guys can get a good long green flag run, that's going to change the tire situation as well. With cautions coming out every few laps or so, it's made it a little bit easier on these tires. Look at this move by Brian Hoare, going all or nothing on the inside of Reese Bogue, and that's going to cost him. He's going to get cut 3 wide. He moves up in front of Andrew Hill. It's all sorts of battling going on back there just outside of the top 5.
And as that happens, the 4 of Reese Bogue decided that the outside didn't quite work, so he is going to try the inside line on the 13 of Bob Eldred. They go wheel to wheel down the back straightaway. Look for Bogue to run it deep here through turns 3 and 4 as he puts the fender up.
Yeah, Bogue can really drive that car into turn number 3 a lot deeper than Bob Eldred can right now, but you see the result of driving real deep into the corner. That car on the top side is going to get the advantage on corner exit, and when you get the advantage on corner exit, you also get the advantage down the resulting straightaway, so that's going to make it tougher for Reese Bogue to make that move, but it looks like for now they're going to stay side by side as we're back under yellow flag conditions here.
Another caution coming out, and this one coming out while working on lap number 23. So we are close to the halfway point here in this Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50 as we take a look back through the field here to see if we can find the cause. But I mean, it's looking like the field is starting to get a little disseminated here, as a lot of trouble and a lot of cars starting to fall by the wayside in this one. Caution back under out as we see the field going around the speedway, getting back sorted here. 23 laps complete, 27 to go here in the Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50. PJ Evans, the 12 Connecticut, continues to show the way in this one.
Yeah, and it's been a fun race so far when we've gotten going. Evans and Beatty have both been really, really quick. Bob Eldred's he's hasn't really had a good opportunity to make a move on the front too. Same with Reese Bogue. They've been there, but for those two to get going, we have to get really deep into a run to make things work. And so that's going to be interesting to see as this race continues. And it looks like we're going to go to single file restarts here. So maybe that'll help cut down on the cautions as the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to stay single file.
And that means that PJ Evans will get to defend each lane on this restart. But on the other hand, it could, if Casey Beatty times it right in the 45, maybe could potentially duck to the inside once we get past the start finish line, brings a whole new element into play here as the pace car gets ready to head in. PJ Evans, Casey Beatty, Bob Eldred, your top three as we get ready to go back racing.
Here they come down to the stripe. Evans, your leader. What can Beatty do? As I'm sure PJ Evans was happy to hear about the call to go single file. Look at Reese Bogue. He makes the jump to the inside on Bob Eldred, going for third. And they are tight off of turn number 2, side by side again.
And you notice behind him, it is a good day to be car number 4 as Arthur Jordan, the 4, has very quietly worked his way into the 5th spot here as we come around to complete lap number 24. Ahead of him, the 4 of Bogue and the 13 of Eldrin leaning a bit on each other as they head through turn 4, but nobody the worse for wear.
They're going to stay side by side. This is a fun battle, and it's been a fun battle to watch as these two go for third. Look at that move from Eldred. Cuts across the nose of the 4 of Jordan, and now goes back down to the inside. They're just going to swap places here on the dance floor. Reese Bogue to the top now, and Bob Eldred down on the inside. We'll see, there was a stalemate, but now they're back side by side again.
Yeah, a very alert move as, don't know what was behind that, but the longer you fight side by side, the more impatient you might tend to get.
These two are sick of each other, that's for sure.
And also, we did just get the halfway signal, so coming by next time, it'll be 26 complete and 24 to go as we now go 3 wide.
Oh, there's the contact.
Shape hangs onto it as Arthur Jordan goes for it on the inside.
Arthur Jordan was like, I'm sick of watching these guys fight in my windshield. I'm going for it all. He got around Reese Bogue because Bogue kind of got shuffled out there, but Bob Eldred stays out in front. Good move by Eldred to be able to hang on to that position as Brian Hoare really took the best of that. He gets going, and he got a free spot there, getting around the 4 of Reese Bogue.
And Bogue able to make a great save and only lose a couple of positions there, settles back in the 6th spot. Behind him, the action still hot and heavy. The 6 of Kyler Davis taking 7th spot from the 77 of Andrew Hill on the inside. Then we've got Aiden Young, the 69, the 49 of Chris Grout, the 19 of Michael Bennett, who is a late entry into tonight's event, starting to get into it. He wants that 10th spot from Grout.
Yeah, and it is getting going here as they continue to battle it on. I tell you, you get these guys on for some green flag laps, and we're going to see some comers and goers as this race continues. And like you talked about, Bennett in that 19 car, he's making some moves. Chris Grout trying to hang on there as well inside the top 10. And there's Nate Wenzel in the 03 and Jason Pelkey in the 64. We haven't talked much about them in this feature, but here they come up through the field.
No, it's just able to avoid at least enough of the carnage to work their way towards the field. And now that we've got some clear racetrack, they're going to see what they can do. Ahead of them, they continue to swap positions. Chris Grout, was in the middle of a sandwich there, but able to get away clear, and now going to try again on the inside of the 77 of Andrew Hill.
Yeah, this is some tight quarters that these guys are racing in right now. Oh, and there's some contact as Hill and Grout get together off the second corner. They are even with each other going into turn 3. Grout trying to toss it off into turn number 3 to get the advantage. Hill's going to pedal that thing around the top of the speedway. Good run off the corner, though, from Grout to equalize the run that you get from being up top. And Grout he's gaining an advantage here. I think he's going to get the spot. Look at that, he will. Chris Grout takes the spot away from Andrew Hill.
Michael Bennett trying to follow him through on the inside. And while this action is going on, we will update you. The 12 of PJ Evans about to complete lap 31, holding steadily with about a quarter-second lead over the 45 of Casey Beatty. So Beatty able to run with him at this point, but as of now, not quite able to mount a challenge on him. But we are going to go up here because we do see the 13 of Eldred is starting to close in along with the 4 of Arthur Jordan.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about, these guys that have been running up here in the front of the field all day long, once these guys come down pit road and change tires, that's when things are going to get real interesting. That's when the gloves come off and the real fight begins. I think these guys are just still trying to kind of feel each other out. What does the other guy have that I don't? Where does he like to run? Where is he fast? Where can I gain on him? Putting that away in the memory bank here for the closing laps of this thing.
Indeed, and it's also worth noting the field has definitely thinned out. At this point, just over half the cars that started are still on the track. So pit road isn't, it's not like when you pit, it's going to be dropping from first to about 35th. As we see behind them, things are starting to heat up again for the 5th spot between Brian Hoare and Reese Bogue.
Yeah, and here comes Bogue jumping to the inside. Remember, that 4 car, he lost a couple of spots when he got punched out of the way on that 3-wide move by Jordan in the other 4 car. And trying to kind of pedal back and regain that ground, and that starts with making the move on the 8-time ACT champion. There he is on the inside of Brian Hoare down low. Trying to make the move here off of turn number 4.
Bogue, he had the nose up, but Brian Hoare able to use that outside line very effectively. Of course, Brian Hoare also has a lot of laps at the real New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Between that and the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway, he's been able to figure out some stuff that others may not have been able to, and so far he's been able to pinch Bogue just enough that he's able to maintain and stay side by side with him for that 5th spot.
This battle continues to be one of the best on the racetrack right now as they fight for position number 5. Bogue has a slight advantage. He might clear him this time. Yes, he will. He moves the number 4 machine up to the top, gets around Brian Hoare, and now he's going to set his sights for the 4 of Jordan and the 13 of Eldred. Brian Hoare with one last-ditch effort to try to get that 37 car in there. Can't quite do it. Gets a little squirrely off of turn 4. And look at this battle for the lead. We got 4 cars right up there for the top spot. Evans' lead is diminished. Beatty is right there to the back bumper, and Eldred and Jordan are right there as well.
And time is starting to wind down. Next time by, there are going to be 13 laps to go in this one. So these drivers know that they've been working, they've been setting up, and sooner or later they are going to get to the point where they have to make a move. Especially when you're in a tight 4-car battle like this one. If you make a move, you got to make a move soon, because if it doesn't work, you might want to have a little time to set up the next move, have one more chance at it before the checker arrives.
Yeah, so we are getting close to that pay window opening here at Loudon. Going to be interesting. You can see the virtual sun starting to set on these drivers here as Evans pulls it off of turn 4, and we're getting to the point in this race, Mike. I don't think these guys are going to come in and take tires now, even with a caution, and put you too far behind. And we've seen how vital track position has been today, and I think that might play a role in this. I think these guys that are out here running 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, and here's a caution that could change everything. We'll see. With 12 laps to go.
Yes, They were working on lap number 39 when that caution came out. So we're about 3/4 of the way through this race. We are getting down to it in this one.
So this is going to be what I'm watching right here is, do any of these top 4, top 5 guys decide to make a move to get down pit road, get some fresh tires? I think You put tires on your car now, you're going to be flying through the field. But we've talked about we've seen the issues that other guys. Look what happened to Tommy Smithers. He had a top 5 car, got put to the back of the field, made that tire change, and his race fell apart from there. And he's spent multiple laps on pit road. He's out of this contention for this one. What do these guys decide to do? Do you stick it out on old tires? Oh, we got some decisions.
I see a whole lot of pump fakes is what I see right now.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. Did Beatti make the commitment line?
We do see one car heading down pit road there, as we'll see if we can locate it, but a lot of people basically stay thinking about pitting and then thinking better of it is what that amounted to.
That was close. I don't think Casey Beatti could have been any closer to coming down pit road right there without actually committing. He had me fooled. I thought he was coming. I thought a lot of these guys were going to come in and risk going back in the field here, as we see Kyle Willis in the 43 down on pit road. If you're running 10th place on back right now, come get your tires. There's nothing to lose at this point. And we're seeing a lot of those guys that were running outside of the top 10 come in, make those moves. You see Ryan Nolan there on the bottom of your screen in the 78 car. They got nothing to lose. But those guys running, top 5 right now, it's track position versus new tires, and being stuck back in the field where you might not get a chance to get the lead back. So I think these guys are going to deal with the older tires and the cars being a little bit more difficult to drive rather than risk their entire race by going back in the pack.
Yeah, perhaps the most notable car to pit there is the one we were looking at right now, the 77 of Andrew Hill, who was a strong top 5, top 6 car early, but then you saw him bop the wall just as another caution flag was coming out and got some damage, and he had been fading through the field since then. But he takes advantage of this caution, gets 4 tires, gets that fender pulled out in the right front. We know he's got a good car, and we'll see what he can do with this final, what's looking to be an 11-lap sprint to the checkered flag.
Yeah, and this is vital right here. These guys have got to make their way up through the field. If you're pitting right here, if you're Andrew Hill, as the people calling this race, the fans at home watching, you're not hoping for cautions, but Andrew Hill's hoping for cautions, able to pick cars off one at a time. But the lights are off. We're about to go racing once again. It's going to be an 11-lap shootout to decide the Fred Vance Trucking 50 at Loudon.
EJ Evans will lead him down once again. They stack up a little behind him, but everybody able to keep it sorted as they take the green flag. Behind him, looking to the inside, Reese Bogue trying to make the aggressive move. He is all the way on the apron trying to get inside of Arthur Jordan. Unfortunately, nothing doing, has to tuck it back in line.
Yeah, and if you go back and remember, Arthur Jordan's 3-wide move put Reese Bogue up out of the groove, almost into the turn 4 wall. I don't think Reese Bogue is going to be willing to cut the 4 of Jordan too many favors here as they go down. And there goes Chris Grout spinning in the top of your screen. Caution flag out once again. And now decision time again as Grout goes spinning. Looks like he's able to straighten it out and keep things going. But it's decision time again for your leaders here. Will we see anybody? Will we see you guys continue to fake everybody out? Or will we see somebody actually coming down pit road here with 10 laps to go?
We are going to find out in a few minutes. I know it wouldn't surprise me if we saw the 49 of Chris Grout pit, because it definitely has picked up some damage on the left front fender. He was one of those cars that did not pit the previous round, and at this point, if you've dropped to the rear of the field anyway, what do you have to lose, right?
Casey Beatti is just toying with us at this point.
Casey Beatti is trying to do the fake out, but what brings to mind to me, do you remember several years ago, I can't remember what track, but Kyle Larson tried to do the stay out and come back in at the last second, and Kyle Busch was trying to do the come in and then go back out the last second, and they collide at the pit road entrance, and it ruined both of their days.
Yeah, well, hopefully nothing like that happens to Beatti here. He makes his bid for the race win here tonight. Man, it's been a fun show. You got that 12 car of Evans out in front, and he has put on a clinic here this afternoon. We've seen PJ Evans run a few races over the course of the 2023 season. on the American Canadian Tour, and a car that looks almost identical to the one he's driving here tonight. As we see the lights are off on that pace car. Time to go green flag racing again, Mike.
Yep, taking the green with 10 laps to go under the score forward system. 10 laps to pay dirt in the Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50 as Casey Beatty is under attack on this restart with Bob Eldred ducking to the inside in the 13.
Beatty did not get through the gears all that great right there. Jordan's going to make the move, though, on Eldred. That's going to be good for Beatty as he can kind of focus now on setting his sights towards the 12 as they are fighting hard behind Beatty. Look at Jordan drive that thing in deep on the inside. There's Eldred on the top. Reese Bogue is probably not going to hesitate to make things 3 wide here with less than 10 laps to go. He knows he's got a car capable of winning, but he's got to get to the front first.
Ahead of him, Arthur Jordan driving it in on the inside. We'd remarked earlier about how Arthur Jordan had been very patient, very quiet, making his way through the field, but he recognizes coming up to 8 laps to go, the time for patience is gone as he drives it deep again in turn 3 in that machine, trying to get back to the inside of Bob Eldred, and he is alongside him as they head to the start-finish line.
And what is Reese Bogue going to do here? Does Bogue try to make the move 3 wide? There he goes. He's going to try to repay the favor on these two. Up the track he goes. Oh, he catches the 4. Will they save it? Oh, look at that. And the caution flag is out for something else back in the field. But how about that? They got it 3 wide in there. That's a tough proposition going 3 wide here, especially with the tires worn out like they are in the late going of this race. But my goodness, that could have gotten a lot worse than it ended up being.
Yeah, you could see virtual Reese Bogue and virtual Arthur Jordan just cranking the wheels inside those machines as they were coming off turn 2. Everybody able to hang on to it. We will see how it affects the cars and the late going. All of that was allowing Casey Beatty to try and get one more shot at PJ Evans, but I mean, we're going to have 7 laps to go on this next restart. If Casey Beatty has anything left for PJ Evans, he's got to show it really soon.
Yeah, I mean, really any of these guys outside of the top 2, Beatty's got to have a good restart here. But you know, the clock is ticking, especially here for the 13, Bob Eldred, the 4, both the 4s of Jordan and Bogue. You know, those guys, I think they've all got cars that are quick enough to make a charge at this thing. But man, this has been interesting to watch here. It's going to be a tight finish. I think everybody's going to, as that pay window opens up here in these next few laps, I think we're going to start to see guys throw everything but the kitchen sink at these things to try to get a win.
And then you've also got to think about how each move sets it up, because you got a guy like Brian Hoare sitting right there behind him. He's got to think about, well, if these guys get side by side, what do I do to try and get through here and potentially have my own shot at this thing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no limit of what could happen here in the closing laps as the lights are off on this pace car here. We're going to go back racing this time, I believe.
7 laps to go in the Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50. The iRacing official pace car heads for pit road, and we are going to take the green one more time. PJ Evans leads them down once again. 7 laps to go as they are already looking way to the inside in front of him as Arthur Jordan again makes the bid on Eldred. They touch in turns 1 and 2, but everybody hangs on to it.
I'll tell you what, the 13 of Eldred and the 2 4 cars of Jordan and Bogue are just absolutely going all at it right now. These guys are not showing they're not giving anybody an inch right now. And I'll tell you, the top 2 guys in Beatty and Evans are really going to appreciate that they're knocking the hell out of each other here as these laps wind down, because Beatty and Evans are just going to be able to drive off.
And in the meantime, that's also let drivers like Kyler Davis, Aiden Young, and Jason Pelkey trying to creep into the picture here as the 2 4 cars, Bogue, and Jordan go side by side through turns 3 and 4 appropriately enough for the number 4 spot. It's the 4 of Jordan, door slapping Bogue as keep it by a nose at the line with 5 laps to go.
Brian Hoare is going to come right in here and say thank you very much. He almost took the spot. I mean, these guys are just using each other up at high speeds through the corners here at Loudon, racing side by side. Neither one of them's happy with each other. Brian Hoare is just sitting there waiting for the spot. Oh, will we see the bumper here? Bogue is able to get by, and Jordan's not able to keep it close enough.
Behind him, you can see Jason Pelkey looking to the outside of Aiden Young, but with time winding down, we are going to head back up to our leaders. It is the 12 CT of PJ Evans and the 45 of Casey Beatty, nose to tail, and next time by, it's going to be 3 laps to go as here comes the 45 of Beatty making his bid to the inside.
Oh, Beatty gets close. My goodness, that was tight right on the back bumper of Evans. Like I told you, these cars are they're not running very good at this point. The tires are old, they're worn out. You know, everybody, all these guys kind of declined the urge to come in and get new tires, get that car running like it was early in the race. I mean, these guys are out here on old tires, cars that are not handling well, and Casey Beatty is trying to take advantage of that, but neither of these guys are very happy with the handling of their machines at this juncture.
They may not be happy with it, but as a wise man once said, they've got what they've got, and now they have got 2 laps to sort it out. 2 to go for the 12 of Evans, the 45 Beatty,
caution flags
and the
out.
13 of Eldred. Cautioned out, though, with three laps to go, according to our ticker. Caution flag is out.
Oh, boy. This is going to be
And just when you thought there couldn't be another chapter, we have one. Taking a quick look back through the field here as they sort things out following the caution, but it just seems kind of fitting that it would come down to this, doesn't it? 2 laps now, according to our ticker, 2 laps to decide everything. The 12 CT of PJ Evans, one of our Southern New England racers. We've seen him a lot at the New London Waterford Speed Bowl. The 45 of Casey Beatty, the reigning White Mountain Motorsports Park King of the Road, about to start his rookie year on the ACT Tour. Then you got the 13 of Bob Eldred, and there was another duck faking to pit road. If the 4 of Bogues and the 4 of Jordan could ever get things sorted out, they could potentially challenge, but it looks like we're going to have a green-white checker on this restart to decide it all.
And the lights are down on the pace car, and I just got word from race control, folks. We're going to go back to double file racing here. We're going to make things that... We're not going to make things that easy for PJ Evans here tonight to win this race. We're going to give Beatty a fair shot, and Eldred there on the inside, Reese Bogue on the outside. I think they've earned it here, Michael. They ran some good racing here in the second half of this thing without as many caution flags, and now we're going to put on a show here for the fans with 3 laps to go.
Indeed, and I'm going to keep an eye on that 13 of Eldred, because if anything happens or if the 13 gets a good restart, we could see him going 3 wide into turn number 1 here, but you know, predictions are one thing, actions are another. Pace car is in, green-white checker. Let's do this, Nick.
Here we go. Side by side, Evans gets the jump. Beatty left in the dust on this restart. A big jump for Evans, and Eldred is going to get down on the inside.
Bob Eldred sees his opportunity. If he's going to have a shot at Evans, though, he's got to make quick work of Beatty, and Beatty fighting back on the outside. It is Eldred down low. It is Beatty up high, and PJ Evans is quite happy to see this 2x2 behind him. He's coming to take the white flag.
Yeah, that's exactly what PJ Evans wants to see. White flag is out. in the Fred Vance Trucking 50 at Loudon, the opening race of the 2024 iACT season. PJ Evans is away with the lead. Bob Eldred has finally secured second spot. Beatty sliding on this final lap as Jordan looks to get in there. Beatty's kind of boxed in. 3 wide for second in the final corner. Here they come off the fourth turn. Here comes PJ Evans from Connecticut getting the win in the iACT opener here at Loudon. What a race.
And Arthur Jordan stealing second place at the line as they're crashing into turn number 1.
He let it all hang out.
PJ Evans wins it. Arthur Jordan with a bold move on the final lap takes second. Unofficially, Bob Eldred in third, then Casey Beatty and Reese Bogue rounding out your top 5.
And we will see here, we will take a look at our finishing order here once that is all finalized, and we'll try to get into victory lane here with a few of our top 3 finishers. But what a win here tonight for PJ Evans. As you see him, he's trying to do a burnout there on the front stretch. Big win for PJ Evans, getting the job done to kick off the 2024 season. Man, I mean, we had some good racing tonight. A little bit of a few cautions marred the first half of this race, but once we got things going, it was a good go at it for PJ Evans in the number 12 car as he takes the victory here tonight at New Hampshire.
PJ Evans from down in Connecticut has run a handful of ACT Tour races. I mean, he has got to feel good about starting the season with a win. I mean, Casey Beatty threw everything he could at him. We had Bob Eldred get into it late in the going. Arthur Jordan making a run, but PJ Evans had them all covered in that Evans Carpentry Services number 12 CT. Opens up the first of 8 races on the GossCars.com iACT Winter Challenge presented by RKM Setup Shop with a victory at Virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
And Michael, let's go ahead here and run through our race results. I know you got them in front of you. Let's take a look at where they finished here tonight as we wait for some of our top 3 finishers to find their way into our broadcast booth here so we could talk to them.
Okay, and indeed, virtual unofficial finish, of course, pending virtual technical inspection. PJ Evans, the 12 CT, is your winner here in the Fred Vance Trucking Northeast Classic 50. Arthur Jordan by a nose at the line, taking second over Bob Eldred. Casey Beatty in fourth, bit of a heartbreaker for him after running first or second most of the event. Reese Bogue, a hard-fought run in fifth. 6th place is the 6 of Kyler Davis. 7th goes to Aiden Young. Jason Pelkey comes home in 8th. Rounding out your top 10 is the 03 of Nathan Wenzel, the 31 of Trent Goodrow. Continuing down as we wait, the 04 of Justin Prescott unofficially comes home 11th. 12th, the 60 of Thomas Smithers. Brian Rogers Jr. in 13th. 14th goes to the 13 of Ty Delphia. Logan Powers comes home in 15th. Andrew Hill, tough break for him after running strong early, ends up in 16th. 17th to the 78 of Ryan Nolan. Kyle Willis in 18th, and the 38 of Tyler Cahoon in 19th. 20th is the Mike Young. Juan Paco Marshall, unofficially your 21st place finisher, then the 36 of Joel Hodgson in 22nd. Tough break for Chris Grau, a top 10 car much of the day, ends up in 23rd. Taylor Hoare in 24th, and Brian Hoare being listed in 25th after running top 10 late in the race. Clearly something happened in that final green-white checker for Brian Hoare. Ends up a very disappointing 25th in the running order. Kerry Krenner finishes 26th in the number 47 machine. Michael Bennett in 27th. Stephen Martin, your 28th place finisher. 29th goes to the 90 of Zachary Fateau from Series ACT. Burt Duffy in 30th. Tyler Conley in 31st, Corey Pea 32nd, and unofficially finishing shotgun on the field was the 39 of Tyler Jordan.
And a fun race here this afternoon or this evening at Loudon. Glad everybody stuck around with us throughout the evening here as we worked through some of the first race bugs. But as this season goes on, expect it will our broadcasts and our racing on the track will only get better and better. But I had a blast tonight, Michael. This looked like this was a lot of fun, and I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be joined by any of our top 3 finishers here.
Indeed. The important thing is, was it a good race? And I frankly, Nick, I thought I saw a great race tonight. Action through the field, a really hard-fought battle at the front. Some what I would call aggressively clean racing, where drivers were willing to lean on each other a little bit, but also willing to give each other the respect to hang on and duke it out on the track rather than having it be settled in a cloud of smoke.
Absolutely. As for our next broadcast, next Monday, same time, different place. We'll stay in virtual New England. We'll be off to Oxford Plains Speedway for 125 laps. It's going to be a fun race at one of the signature tracks on the American Canadian Tour schedule. That'll be our second of 8 races this year, so be sure to join us next Monday for that one. As we move on in the iACT schedule. Before we sign off here tonight, we'd like to thank our sponsors one last time. Of course, GossCars.com for being the presenting sponsor of the 2024 iACT series. RKM Setup Shop for giving us a great setup tonight. I think all the drivers enjoyed it. They put on a good show for you guys. And we also want to thank Fred Vance Trucking for being the presenting sponsor of this event here tonight from New Hampshire. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week from Oxford.